What is going on, everybody? I am your man, Boys for Life, and this is my co-host, Boyz Corner. This is the Cowboys Network takeover on the BGN Sports Media Network. I know you don't like saying it, Cowboys Corner.
I won't say it.
But I got to say it, so I'll say it for the both of us. But another installment of the Boyz Corner, and I'm excited for this one because we are 14 days away from the draft. 14 days away. Everyone's mock drafts is going to become irrelevant here pretty soon, and and all the, as like Simus likes to call them, the couch draft experts, or one of those words. But draft is 2 weeks away. Jerry has already said that he's willing to trade up. What are your thoughts about him maybe trading up, or if he'll do it?
It has to be for the right player. Like, I know a lot of people love Jordan Davis. That is a defensive tackle. Cowboys, they don't really move for defensive tackles. They haven't been on draft defensive tackles unless they get into the third round. So it'll be real interesting to see who they trade up for. Could be a corner, could be a wide receiver. I know Traylon Burks. I have a feeling Traylon Burks is going to be gone between at least the first 10 picks. I don't foresee him being there. So I don't know if the Cowboys want to trade up all the way into that and give up a lot of draft capital for that. But It's going to take a lot to move into that top 10 if the Cowboys want to trade there. A good spot for trading up would probably be either with Philly, as much as we hate them, or with the New Orleans Saints. That 14 or 15th spot. It won't cost you the whole farm. You could possibly give up a future pick to move up there, but it has to be for the right player. Will it be for Chris Olave? Will it be for Charles Cross, Devin Lloyd? To be determined. Will it be for Drake London? There's a lot of pieces. Kenyon Green. A lot of people are down on Raymond, but he could potentially go probably to Cincinnati there later on in the draft. So if the Cowboys want to move up in this draft, they're thinking that somebody is going to pick them. So watch Philly, watch the New Orleans Saints pick. Things could happen in that area. I don't know if Baltimore is going to give up that because they love defense picks. Especially in the first round, Devin Lloyd could be there. Some other key pieces to that defense side of the ball. So it'll be real interesting to see what the Cowboys do. But I think the trade-up thing is just smoke and mirrors. They really didn't do a lot of stuff in free agency. They know there's a lot of negativity going on with Cowboy fans because they're not doing a lot. So this could just be smoke and mirrors. Hell, they might just stay put at 24. If not, I can see the Chiefs and the Cowboys. I can see the Cowboys trading back. So with the Chiefs, I can see that scenario happen here in a couple of weeks. But no one really knows. But I doubt that they'll trade up. They didn't do a lot in free agency. They don't have that many draft picks. I mean, yes, they have a lot of fifth round draft picks, but those fifth round values ain't going to do you much. The first, second, and third they have to hit on because they had such a weak free agency and they didn't get better. So I don't see anybody worth trading up unless you're going to go trade up with Philly or trade up with the New Orleans Saints.
Yeah, no, I mean, the last time we traded up was what, Morris Claiborne? Yeah, that was the last time we traded up, and I mean, we all saw how that turned out. So I really don't. I mean, and we've heard Jerry talk about trading up in years past after the Morris Claiborne trade up, and it's really been for nothing. It was funny you talk about us trading back with KC. I was doing a mock draft, and one of my trade requests that came in, because on the mock draft that I do, I always get trade requests, was a KC trade. And it was for their, I want to say 29th, one of their two picks. And then we got their next year's second. And I was still able to get my offensive lineman in Kenyon Green, because that's who, I mean, like I said last week, if we really want to protect Dak and we want, people are saying, like we said before, other fans are saying Dak is the guy. Well, if you want Dak to succeed, you're going to need an offensive line to protect him. We have that guard. We had, what's his name? Connor Williams gone. I don't think they'll put in McGovern. right away. Biotish is skittish. You have Smith always, he's only good for maybe half a season, 8-9 games at most. And then you have Terrence Steele who shown promise and did well last year, but he's going into this is his first full-time starting spot if we put him there at the tackle position. And then of course we got Zach Martin, but we still need to fill that left guard spot. And I think Kenyon Green is the guy. That's who I want. That's who I'm looking at. If I am trading up, it's got to be for a run stuffer. I mean, I don't know what it is with the Cowboys and not valuing that big time run stuffer, because we always seem to get torched up the middle. And I don't know what it's got to get through their head to understand. Because I really think that if we are able to get a big run stuffer right there in the front lines, I think this defense will be okay. I think it will, because that's one of our biggest weaknesses is run defense, as far as running up the gut. I mean, I know we have DeMarcus Lawrence on the edges. He's a good run stopper, but running up the middle, it seems like our guys just get parted like the Red Sea, and decent to good running backs get their yardage per carry.
Yeah, no, we want offensive linemen. I mean, you look at the 30-man visits. Drake London, first-round pick. Chris Olave, first-round pick. Traylon Burks, first-round pick. Devin Lloyd, Charles Cross, Kenyon Green, Zion Johnson, Jordan Davis. These are all potentially first-round picks. Will one of these guys be there at 24? And if so, where do the Cowboys got them ranked on their board? Cowboys love to go best player available versus draft need. So I know we need a left guard, Boys for Life. I know we need that. But we didn't need a wide receiver when we drafted CeeDee Lamb.
No.
We needed corner, but Josh Horn and Pat Surtain went 2 picks, and then we traded back with the Eagles, and Micah Parsons fell into our lap, right?
Yeah.
So the Cowboys' philosophy is best player available. So the best player available, probably the guy that they have number 1 on their board, they're thinking, we really have a chance to get this guy. Who's the guy? I can't tell you who the guy is because I don't know. So if the Cowboys have this player, number 1, this guy right here, I think we might be able to get him at that 13, 14, 15 spot, right? So what do we have to do to give up? But if you look on our second round, guys that I have projected second round respectively during their 30-man visits, you got Sanders, the defensive end out of Cincinnati. You got Raymond. You got Perion Winfrey, DeMarvin Neal. And then your third round guys like Jeremy Ruckett, Sam Williams. Sam Williams might be going in the second though. The tight end out of Texas A&M, Weidermeyer, Cade Otton, the tight end out of Washington. So if they want to move up to 14, 15, you can say bye to any of those guys in the second or third round because you're going to give up draft equity to do that.
Yeah.
So whoever they got number 1 on their board, they're thinking maybe number 1, number 2, number 3. They're thinking, hey, but we might be able to go snatch this guy because we think he's the best player in the draft. We think he's best player available at this spot. But you know how Jerry Jones is. He wants headlines. He wants this. He wants something positive coming out of the Cowboy Nation. I'm going to go with my gut feeling here, and I'm going to say they move back with the Chiefs.
Yeah, no, I'm just about to ask you now. Let's just say shit hits the fan. All your top, you don't trade up. You stay at 24. All the guys that you just named in the first that are first round talents are gone. What do you do? Do you trade back and take best player available, or do you just trade out of the first round and try to get draft capital for either second round, third round, or even try to get draft capital for next year?
Cowboys need their first round pick. Why? Because you get a 4-year deal plus a 5th-year option.
Yeah.
Cowboys do a horrible job managing the salary cap. So to have that 5th-year option there, they didn't pick it up with Leighton Vander Esch, right? To have that 5th-year option there is key, because when you could tag that guy with that 5th-year, pick that, and it saves you. You can kick that ball down the line, so to speak, right? So trading back out of the first round would be asinine to me, because they're giving up a lot more than what they are gaining in picks. Because if you trade out of the first, all you're getting is premium 2nd and 3rd round picks. Those are just 4-year deals. Yeah. You're missing that 5th-year option.
Yeah, no, that's true. Shit, I had a question I was just about to ask you. Yeah, no, in the second round, the guy that I'm looking at for us at 56, and I've been able to pick him in a few of my mock draft, is the Marvin Lee. That's a big boy on the defensive side of the ball that I wouldn't mind having here. Now I remember the question I was going to ask you. The question I want to ask you is, now I know in the recent years, starting with CeeDee Lamb, we started taking the best player available, right? Before that, it was need, right? Because we've seen the Cowboys reach for certain players. Now, do you think that if they're sitting at 24, and do you think it's going to be best player available? Do you think they're going to go need? I know you're saying they're going to go. They should go best player available, or do you think they're going to go need, or do you think they're going to go best player available for what we need?
No, I like how you brought up the past, because the past was under Jason Garrett, and sometimes they forced the pick. Taco Charlton,
yeah.
Right? Sometimes they forced a pick with what was his name? The end out of Oklahoma in the third, Charles Tapper in the 3rd round, yeah. Right? Jason Garrett he fell in love with guys, and he sold it to Jerry. He sold something to a salesman, and it was forceful. It didn't work. You look how bad how bad the drafts were under Jason Garrett. Yeah, we got Zach Martin out of it, but that was because of Stephen Jones. Yeah. Byron Jones ain't on this team no more.
No.
We got Tyron Smith. Then we got Dez Bryant. He lasted quite a few years with the Cowboys. But you look at the draft entirety under Jason Garrett, and we were like, yeah, they didn't go BPA. They went need here. You can do that. That's fair, because you look at who's remaining from Jason Garrett's draft class, and you scratch your head like, wow, Jason Garrett was a horrible team drafter. You look at Mike McCarthy. You mean to tell me you get CeeDee Lamb and Diggs your first year as a Dallas Cowboy, right?
Yeah.
Then you turn around and you get Micah Parsons and you get Kelvin Joseph, right? Who has untapped potential, special teams player, this, that, and the third. Can he beat out Anthony Brown in his 2nd year? To be determined. Because Anthony Brown, he turns it on during training camp. He turns it on this, that, and the third. LVE, Tristan Hill, the Soup Trap hit it right on the head. Simon Says hit it right on the head. Jason Garrett was a reach guy. Mike McCarthy is a philosophy guy when it comes to best player available. And under these 2 years under Mike McCarthy, as much as I don't like McCarthy, I do like McCarthy's drafts.
Yeah. No, I mean, I've been real impressed with McCarthy's drafting. Now we all know that it's Jerry making the picks, but
Jerry can make the picks all day long. Yeah. He could pick up the phone and feel like Macho Man Randy Savage calling into New York saying, hey, we're drafting this guy. But at the end of the day, you got Mike McCarthy, you got Will McClay, and you got Stephen Jones. Jerry Jones don't pick up the phone to do trades.
Yeah.
Stephen Jones does.
So let me ask you this. Yeah, let me ask you this. So with Will McClay being in the position he's been for a little while, why do we see such a difference in drafting with Will McClay and Mike McCarthy than Will McClay and Jason Garrett?
Because the scheme fit. We wouldn't have got Neville Gallimore under Jason Garrett. We wouldn't have got Quentin Bohanna under Jason Garrett, because we ran under Rod Marinelli's schemes where they liked undersized 3 technique. They like undersized 1 techniques. And so when they draft these guys, and you're getting gushed in the middle because your little ponytail saddle over there is getting eat up in the trenches because you don't want to draft any heavyweights. You don't want to draft corners that need to turn their head around to get the ball. So the philosophy there under Jason Garrett, he stuck to it, and it bit him in the ass time and time again. Mike McCarthy has a higher IQ, no disrespect to Garrett, than Garrett does, because he got guys like Neville Gallimore. He got guys like Quentin Bohanna. He got beef there, right? You look at Micah Parsons. Hell, I don't even know if Jason Garrett would have drafted Micah Parsons. I really don't, because he's a hybrid guy. If Jason Garrett passed on TJ Watt, I guarantee you he would have passed on Micah Parsons, because Jason Garrett stuck to that philosophy, and Will McClay has to honor that because he's the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah.
Mike McCarthy wants hybrid. Mike McCarthy wants heavyweights in the middle. Mike McCarthy wants corners to turn their head around. Mike McCarthy looked at Malik Hooker, and he looked at Jaron Kearse with Will McClay, and he said, you know what? Bring me these guys in here because I like their physicality. They're ball hawks. Look at the turnover ratio under Mike McCarthy in 2 years versus Jason Garrett's last 5. It doesn't touch anything because the way they scheme things. Mike McCarthy is a better head coach. I don't like him as much. I never liked Jason Garrett, but Mike McCarthy is a better head coach when it comes to building a football team, but not when coaching a football team, because they fell flat against the 49ers. They weren't motivated. Hell, even Mike McCarthy said they were a bit nervous. Right? So he can build a football team. I wouldn't be surprised if Mike McCarthy's a GM outside of when he's done head coaching, because he knows how to build a football team. He just can't get grown men to believe in what he's selling. That's the only problem. And that's why you look at Mike McCarthy's 2 last drafts. That's why we got studs like that.
Yeah, no, you speak about the turnover ratio that we had the past couple of years. I was saying all last year that right before the season started, because of what we saw the year before, the flashes, I said you're gonna see this year a high turnover rate like you haven't seen in years. And what we were number 1, number 2 in turnovers last year. And going back to the draft, if we're trading up, I know we might trade up or whatever it is if best player available at 15 or whatever is Jordan Davis. I also would not mind maybe getting a Booth, even though we didn't have a 30-man visit, or if Stingley's still there at 15. I wouldn't mind trading up for one of those 2 guys.
I don't know if Stingley's going to make it out of the 10. I want Stingley here on this football team, but I highly doubt that he makes it past 10. I really don't see it. Amon Gardner, I don't see him making it out past 10. Chris Olave, he could be in that 15 middle range. Andrew Booth Jr., he could be in that 15 to 20 range. So if the Cowboys move up 4 spots to say, let's get an Andrew Booth Jr., then they can do that. But to want Derek Stingley or to want Ahmad Gardner or to want Traylon Burks, I don't know if those guys are going to be in reach, because they're going to be giving up so much draft capital, and the Cowboys can't afford it because they went so light in free agency.
This free agency was I mean, it's what they always do. They always bargain basement shop. We've seen it time and time again. So it's gonna be real interesting to see what we do in this year's draft. Like I said, it's 2 weeks away. I can't wait. It's gonna be an exciting time because we're gonna get to see, of course, always, who the Cowboys draft. If you're sitting there at 24. Out of the 2 linebackers, even though you have the Cowboys didn't do a 30 visit with Nakobe Dean, who would you rather have, Dean or Lloyd at 24?
I'd have Lloyd.
Lloyd, and why is that?
Lloyd, you team up Devin Lloyd with Micah Parsons, and like Micah Parsons don't even got to be a 24/7 linebacker. You can really move Micah Parsons around, and Devin Lloyd can pick up those pieces. Now they're both great players. They're both great players, but when I turn on the film, of Devin Lloyd, I see quickness, I see physicality, I see hitting the lineman to go get running backs and go coverage and things of that sort. If you get Devin Lloyd and you team him up with Micah Parsons and Jabril Cox, this front seven, even with Randy Gregory gone, even with Terrell Basham gone, this front seven just made up. Getting Devin Lloyd just made up losing Randy Gregory and Terrell Basham all in one, because you get the freelance Micah Parsons, you get Jabril Cox in the field, you get LV on the field. Hell, you might even be able to run a 3-4 defense if you get Devin Lloyd. I just like his play style.
Yeah. So looking at this, the 30 visits that they had, they only brought in 3 wide receivers: Drake London, Chris Olave, and Treylon Burks. I mean, does that kind of hint at what they might do at 24, or even try to trade up, since they only brought in? Is a wide receiver actually a need for us in the first round?
No, I think that's a really good question. Stephen Jones says this a lot, and it's on Twitter on the Stephen Jones Show account. Due diligence. Yeah. You talk about where the Giants are picking, where the Commanders are picking, and Philadelphia has 2 first-round picks. So Cowboys, yes, they love to scout their 30 men and draft those guys, because that's how they do business. But you look at the 30-man visits and what the NFC East picks, the Cowboys like to get to know their player. Hell, the Cowboys did a 30-man visit with Jalen Hurts because he knew the Giants, the Commanders, or Philly might draft him, right?
Yeah.
So the Cowboys do their due diligence to get to know these players, to get to know their strengths, to get to know their weaknesses, because they might have to play them 2 times a year.
I never thought about that. That's extremely smart. I never thought about that. That's very interesting. I mean, that makes sense. I mean, bringing guys that, wide receiver for me is not a need for me in the first round. Hell, maybe not even really in the second round. I may be looking at, defensive tackle, DeMarvin Lee in the second round. What's his name? The defensive tackle out of Oklahoma, Winfrey. I mean, because to me in the second round, you got to go. I want to say defensive lineman for me in the second round. So that's very smart of the Cowboys to do their due diligence in scouting guys, because what your other teams in your conference are going to try to go after.
Yeah. You have to know their strengths. You have to go know their weaknesses. It's football, man. You got to get ahead of your opponent every day of the week, and the 30-man visit allows you to do that, because they can project needs on teams. They can project how they draft, because you look at all these owners, right? Dan Snyder's been there. I don't know who the hell owns the Giants, right? But they got a whole new general manager. They got a whole new coaching staff. So they kind of have to guess and assume. And then the Commanders, they've been in that terrible organization forever, right? So they kind of know how these NFC East pieces play. But no, they have to do that, because that's competition. You play 6 games out of your schedule against those opponents.
Yeah. So out of these 3 wide receivers, how do you have them ranked? And who do you see going first, second, and third, and why?
Oh, absolutely. So I have Treylon Burks at number 1. I have Drake London out of USC, number 2, and I got Chris Olave, number 3. Burks, he's big, he's physical, he's very physical, big red zone threat. I'm not comparing him to Justin Jefferson, but he's more of like a Justin Jefferson, Des Bryant type of player. And if you look at the trends in the NFL, people fall in love with guys like Justin Jefferson and all these big time wide receivers coming out. You look at the Cincinnati's wide receivers. So there's a trend with getting a big splashy wide receiver in the first round. I think Treylon Burks can check mark those boxes. So can Jordan. So can Drake London, and so can Chris Olave. Right? There might be a tie between Chris Olave and London. I mean, there really might be. They're 2 different Burks is a different style between Olave and London, but it's hard to say which one goes first because you look at the 2020 draft, wide receivers that you thought were going to go first went last, this, that, and the third. So it's hard for me to rank them because you never know how they're going to fall. But if I was to do it, it would be Burks, London, Olave.
Now, out of these three, because of our scheming or our offensive coordinator and because of our quarterback, who would you think would be the best fit for Kellen Moore and Dak Prescott, or both? Which one who would you pick for this team? For
Olave.
Olave? And why is that? Is that because he's more of a route runner? Or
yes.
Yeah? And that's what Dak, and I've said this before, and I feel like this is why, to me, I didn't feel Dez Bryant and Dak meshed well, because Dez Bryant was more of a 50-50 go up and get the ball. Tony Romo throw it up in the air, Dez go get it. And I really don't feel like Dak did that too much. He was more of a, I need a route runner and I need separation for me able to get you the ball.
It's funny you say that because you look at Dak Prescott's highlight reel, so to speak, with the Cowboys, and Jason Garrett's in there talking about how Dak Prescott has to say, identify. Okay, there he is. Boom. Right? So Jason Garrett was right on that aspect when it comes to Dak. Dak ain't a 50-50 guy. Dak's going to overthrow it to help his stats. Dak's going to underthrow it to help his stats because he don't trust it. Now, he has good deep balls. He threw one against the Giants, the CeeDee Lamb right underneath that ball. Good throw, great catch. More of a great catch, right? But Dez Bryant was at the end of his career. He had a lot of health issues and stuff. So it's hard to say, Dak with this, Dez with that, because Dez was already getting old. He was out of the league for a long time, went to New Orleans Saints, tore his Achilles, they won, and then they got picked up with the Ravens later on. But Dez Bryant was at the tail end of his career. Dak Prescott was a rookie. So it's hard to compare the two because it's just hard. And I don't think it's really fair to Dak, but we could put on the film and see Dak's mistakes. We can see Dak's gains. But at the end of the day, he just don't have the it to me. He's not a trash quarterback. He's just a mediocre quarterback. He's a middle-of-the-road quarterback. I don't think he can take a game over.
No, that's for sure. I mean, we agree on Dak 100% all the time. So I don't know if you heard who is, because it just popped up on my notifications about an hour before. Who is this EJ? I forget what his last name is. He's a quarterback that the Cowboys just had a visit with. I think today, if I'm not mistaken. Let me see if I can bring it up. It was like an EJ something. I forget out of where. I got it from Bleacher. Oh, it was EJ Perry, quarterback prospect. Met with Dallas ahead of the draft. He is.
I don't know who that player is. I'm gonna be honest with you.
I think. Oh, never mind. He is not a draft prospect ahead of the. Oh, he played for the Browns, is what I'm thinking. Is what it says. Yeah.
If he's better.
Oh, no, he played at Brown. Sorry, he played at Brown in 2021. He had 3,000 yards and 23 touchdowns.
If he's better than Cooper Rush, get him in here. If he can compliment Dak, get him in here.
Yeah. No, man. Everything that what you're saying right now, I 100% agree with. As far as, I mean, like I said, you're the guy who gives me this information on who's pairing better where and reasons why. What can you tell me, if you can tell me, who's that Cam Jorgens, I guess the center from Nebraska? That's the guy that we're looking at as well? Yeah,
I have him right here. Cam Jorgens. I got him projected as a third-round pick, the center out of Nebraska. I don't think Jernigan's is better than Tyler Biadasz. I don't see it. I don't see how you upgrade with Cam Jurgens with the Tyler Biadasz. Now, I could be wrong, but Jurgens seems like more of a Joe Philbin type of guy, with the scheme that he runs on the offense. So it'd be real interesting if the Cowboys do draft him in that third round, which I see him going there. I really don't see too much of an upgrade from Tyre Biadasz.
Okay, I got you. Yeah, and especially if we have some inexperience coming into the line this year, if we take a guard in the first round, because it seems like that's what we have, and then we really don't have any tackle. But I mean, Charles Cross out of Mississippi State.
That would be, if we can wind up to get Cross, I would be the happiest guy ever.
It's funny. It seems like you and I kind of are in the same mentality as far as we need the smart pick, but the best pick. Aside from what I see a lot of these Cowboy fans here, on social media, they want that flashy pick. Like, the flashy wide receiver. That's what it seems to me. That's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing a lot of wide receiver talking. I don't know if that's because that's what it seems like the Cowboys are alluding to, or that's because we lost Cooper. But it just seems like a lot of Cowboy fans want this flashy pick instead of – I don't want to say the safe pick, but the smarter pick, because we do need that. We do need protection for Dak.
No, you have to get Dak comfortable. You get Dak comfortable, he can throw the pigskin all day long. If Dak has to feel like he's going to carry the team on his back, yeah, you could give me the Seattle Seahawks playoff game all you want. But outside of that, there's not a whole lot that you can show me there. Yes, he has 14 career comeback game wins. But if Dan Bailey, if Brett Maher, if it wasn't for Zeke, that 14 turns into about 4, let's be honest.
Yeah.
So you got to get that comfortable. Charles Cross can get now. If they go Charles Cross, Boys for Life, I really think they like where the development is going in that guy from Mexico.
Oh, the dude that was on Hard Knocks? Yeah.
Isaac Alarcon.
Yeah.
I really feel like if they go OT, they really like where Isaac is going in that guard position.
And it's a left guard position, right?
It's a left guard position, absolutely. So it's going to be real interesting to see because there's really nobody at left guard. Connor McGovern's not a left guard. He's a right guard. If you put Connor McGovern there, he's going to fail miserably. But I think if they go off the tackle, they really like Isaac and what he's doing. So it's going to be real interesting to see.
So you think that if they go tackle in the first round and they get Cross or any of these guys you see, you're saying that they really like the development of Isaac. Now, do you think they go out and get a guard later on in the draft, or do you think they like the development there and he's one of your, I guess, starters, or if you don't go out and get one after the draft and free agency?
This would be his 4th year, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's either his 3rd or 4th year. Joe Philbin, it could have been Hard Knocks cameras. It could have been whatever. But he got a lot of preseason time last year. He got a lot of screen show and Joe Philbin coaching him up and fixing mental errors, things of that sort. He gets along with Dak Prescott and these guys, right? So in order for you to kick it with the starters, you got to play like one. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I really think that Isaac Alarcon, if they go off the tackle, will come in here and possibly be a starter at the left guard position.
Yeah, I mean, last year when I saw him on Hard Knocks, it was my first year actually seeing him because, like, me, I'm a big fan of the Cowboys, always have been. But getting into depth with the team hasn't really begun for me until maybe about last year or the year before that. So looking past the starters and looking into their practice squad, do you think that we may at some point get a running back, or do you think that they like that one dude that played last year at the end of the game. I forget what his name is. He was that one in, one off contact dude from Hard Knocks. I forget what he had, that dreads, that real
Hardy.
Hardy, yeah.
Hardy's still a developmental guy, in my opinion. They like Zeke, obviously. They like TP. They just got Ryan Knoll for special teams reason. I think those are going to be – Ryan Knoll's going to be your third back. I really think so for special teams. And Zeke and Pollard are going to be your starters there. I don't know if there's really a running back. I mean, you look at the running back that they put a 30-man visit in. It was Malik Davis out of Florida. I think it's the wrong running back out of Florida. But, you know, you look at that, and that's a 7th-round undrafted free agent potential pick there. So I don't know. Now, Ryan Knoll can get outplayed. Ryan Knoll can lose his roster spot. It could just be practice squad. Just could be a camp body. But undrafted free agents is something the Cowboys thrive on. They haven't had an undrafted free agent running back in Hellas, so I don't know if that will work. But I think Zeke, Pollard, and I don't know if they really spend a lot of draft equity on a running back this year.
No, I feel you on that. Now, going back to Kenyon Green and Zion Williams, can you tell me, because they're both – it's like 1-2, you know, either way. One of those two guys are going to go first. The other one's going to go second. You're going to either go Kenyon Green first, you know, Zion first. It really doesn't matter. But can you tell me the difference in style of play these two guys are?
They're about the same, to be honest with you. I mean, that's why they're neck to neck. Kenyon Green's a little better with power, with pass blocking, with run scheme. Zion Johnson's the same. I really think they're the same player. I think it's whatever franchise values them the most. Whoever values them, a roster fit, best player available. But if I was Cowboys, I would draft Kenyon Green just because I like the physicality. I like his pass. I like his run play. I just like his when he has to pull. I like his football intelligence. This is no knock on Zion Johnson. They're about the same, bro. But I would have to go Kenyon Green.
Now, I got a question here. Now, it seems like we like centers out of Nebraska, right?
Wisconsin,
Wisconsin, around there. Can you tell me why, if we're looking at a center, like, is this kind of telling of where we might, if we do go center, where we're going to draft them? Because if you're looking at center, wouldn't you go Tyler Lindenbaum in one of your top, your 30 visits?
I think Linderbaum's going to be gone. Quick. I see Linderbaum as a first-round talent.
Yeah.
Cam Jurgens, that's the 3rd-round projected pick, in my opinion. I think 3rd-round Cowboys got to go tight end. I think 2nd round they got to do something with the interior line, or hell, even I don't know if they really trust Dante Fowler or not to play that right end, or Dorrance Armstrong for that matter. So I think they go end or defensive tackle. Or in the 2nd, I really think they go tight end in the 3rd. I don't see them drafting a center anywhere in this draft.
Okay. All right. That makes sense, because, I mean, like we said before, it seems like, and I said earlier that to me, I got to go interior on the defensive side of the ball. I mean, I have to. That's what I like. Because DeMarvin Lee, he's a interior guy, or he's an outside guy.
What are you talking about?
DeMarvin Lee, interior on the defense, or is he outside? He's a defensive. He's an interior guy, and so is Winfrey, and I like both of those. Winfrey, I didn't know much about him until about a few weeks ago, but that's a big boy, and that's a physical guy right there.
Yeah, both of those guys are interior, which the Cowboys can get better at. Don't get me wrong. I would like the rotation of Novell Gallimore with Perrion Winfrey, or with DeVarvin Neal. I would love any of that rotation because we all know Dan Quinn loves that rotation.
Yeah.
They just love it. So if they can get me an interior in the second or third, that's going to beef up better because they're not going to be undersized as in the Rod Marinelli scheme. They're actually going to be somebody in here to plug up that middle.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm an A&M guy. So watching these two, watching Green and then watching Lee, and then having them on the Cowboys draft board, it's exciting for me. I'm excited. I've done a few mock drafts where I'm able to get Green at 24, and then Lee has fallen to me at 56. And
the other center they did was Dawson Deaton out of Texas Tech, projected undrafted free agent. Drew, by the way, not.
All right. So out of these tight ends, because I know they're about 4 or 5 tight ends that they've looked at.
Yeah, Jelani Woods. You're talking about Kate Otten, who's my pet cat. Jalen Watermeyer, the tight end out of Texas A&M. Jeremy Ruckert, out of Ohio State, where you can't go wrong there. So even because I got Ruckert, I got him as a third round. I got Jelani Woods as a third round. I got Watermeyer as a fourth, and I got Kate Otten as a third. So that's why I really feel like tight end is going to go in the third. And any one of those guys, Kate Otten's my pet cat just because I really think it's a scheme fit. I like Kate Otten, and I hope they get him.
So so at what point in this draft do we? Because to me it seems like the way I think the Cowboys are going to lean is yes, best player available, but best player available for position of need. So whether that be in the first round, you want to trade up and get a defensive tackle, you want to stay at 24 or trade back and still get your guy, either Zion Johnson or
gain a pick.
And gain a pick. Yeah, that's true. And gain a pick. At what point do you just go in this draft? Because I think in the second and third round, you're gonna have to go need at that point. But after that, at what point do you just go, all right, we're going best player available?
I think once you get into that third round, you kind of go BPA there. But you're also, somebody asked right here, why are we going for a tight end? We're going for a tight end in the third round. We got Dalton Schultz there. Who's behind Dalton Schultz? We're going to go for McKieran. I mean, what has he done? I like his development, but I don't want him as a number 2. Well, we got Jeremy Sprinkle there. What has he done? I don't know if I want him as a number 2. Go draft you a sure tight end in the third round. You got your number 2. Let McEwen and let Sprinkle fight it out in last man standing, or you carry all 4. It's up to the Cowboys. It's their team. But that's why we got to go tight end here in this draft. But good question, by the way. And then I see Victor right here talking about info on Bossman Fat's murder case. Is this true?
Yeah.
I have no idea. I really don't want to touch on it. I don't have any reports coming in to validate the thing with Bossman Fat. I do appreciate you coming in and asking us, but it's hard to go off a Fox 4 video in Dallas. My condolences to the family involved in this case. Sad, but there's just nothing that I can link Kelvin Joseph to. There's no reports that I can link Kelvin Joseph to. So it's going to just be one of those. We just got to wait and see.
Waiting games. Okay. So I'm not directly asking you anything about that case with Calvin Joseph, but let's just say, for hypothetical reasons, something does come out. God forbid, but let's just say something does. Do you think that changes things for the Cowboys as far as what they're drafting?
I think it does. Because there's premium corners in the first round. Anything after that, I don't know. So yeah, they like Diggs. Do they trust Anthony Brown? What kind of plan did they have for Kelvin Joseph? If any of this is true, it's hard to speak the hypotheticals right now because I'm betting that it ain't. Just because Twitter police thinks it is. We just got to wait for facts to come out. It's hard to talk hypothetical, but I do think if something was to come out and he's tied to this unfortunate case, I think it does change some stuff in the draft.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I want to wait on facts to come out. That's why I haven't really said nothing. I've been kind of skipping over those comments, and so we've kind of just opened that the cat's out of the bag there, and we've opened that Pandora's box. I just want to do you think that, let's just say hypothetical again, something does happen, you think at that point, because we're going to be – because to me, I haven't trusted Anthony Brown since I don't know when. Even last year, I was waiting for the mess-up game. The Raiders game happened. That was it for me. Jordan Lewis, he's kind of been a disappointment for me. So do you think at that point you try to trade up into that spot where you're going to give up a lot of draft capital to get you a premium corner, or do you just sit there and wait at 24 or try to move up into at least the teams to get you what a McDuffin, I think his name is, or a Booth?
Yeah, I would love Andrew Booth. Don't get me wrong. I don't know if the Cowboys can afford to allocate draft picks for trades. If they want to do player trades, I'm all for it. But they can't be giving up. They can't be giving up the farm. I mean, you look. They're picking at 24. Then they got 56. Then they got 88. Let's say they trade up, do away with their 36. You mean to tell me we have to wait all the way to 88 till we get another player?
Yeah.
No, that's crazy. I don't know if the Cowboys can afford that. I really don't. I know Jerry Jones brought this up and this, but it's all smoke and mirrors because the Cowboys cannot afford to allocate draft picks for trades. They just can't.
Yeah, no. I don't. When Jerry brought up the trading up a few days ago, everyone went into a frenzy of whatever they thought. For me, it was like what you're saying. It's all smoke and mirrors. I don't think it's going to happen. It hasn't happened since Morris Claiborne. I think the Cowboys will stay at 24. If they do trade up, it won't be by much, to where you can move up into the late teens, maybe the earlier 2-3 spots, and give up. You trade your first round, swap your first rounds, and give up one of your fifths. Because I mean, like you said earlier, those 5th round picks, we got what, 4 of them?
Yeah,
4 of them. To me, I think at that point, I think with the Cowboys having 4 5th round picks, to me, that's got to be, you have that many picks. I don't think they're going to draft all those picks. I think something's going to be in a package deal to where they move up in the try to move up in the 3rd round or somewhere. I think, because did he say that they would move up in the 1st round, or did he just say we would trade up if the right guy's there?
Option B.
It was option B. Okay. So if you pay attention to what he's saying, he's not specifying of where he's going to trade up. You would assume it's the 1st round, but you always got to listen to how people word and say things. So I mean, he could not be lying. If the right guy's there, you could trade up in the 2nd round. You could trade up in the 3rd round to get your guy that they see is can make a difference on this team or going to be a starter, because we've seen Cowboy draft picks come in here and not start right away.
It's true.
It's true. So, but before we get out of here, I want to ask you what would your be surprise pick or surprise trade, not going with the Kansas City Chiefs, but what would be a surprise trade or a surprise pick for you this draft with the Cowboys?
I think a surprise pick would be Burks out of Arkansas. I really don't see him. If the Cowboys manage to get him, good, fine, great, dandy. But it would be a real surprise to me. It would be a surprise if they get Charles Cross. It would be a surprise to me if they get Chris Olave. Seriously, it would be a big surprise to me. It would be a big surprise to me if they trade up and got Jordan Davis. That would be insane. I mean, minds would be blowing.
Yeah, because we don't do that.
Right. Eagles traded down with the Cowboys last year. My expectation is Cowboys trade down with the Eagles.
Yeah, no, yeah. For me, I mean, I really don't know what would be a surprise pick for me, because it seems like from everything that I've seen, whether it's what I'm reading, what I see on Twitter, what I'm thinking in my own head, it's the Cowboys are going to go either offensive lineman or wide receiver. That's or unless they're doing what you said they're doing. They're just doing their due diligence, and they don't plan on drafting a wide receiver. They're just trying to get to know these guys, so that way, if they got to play them, twice a year or 4 times or 6, depending on which teams draft these guys, because who knows? What if these 3 guys go to each one of these football teams that we play against, and we're playing against them each. We're playing against each one of these guys. For me, I think a surprise pick would be going after a safety, something that we have wanted for a long time. Because I see a lot of Daxton Hill, right? That's his name, out of Penn. I think that's what his name is, Daxton Hill.
Yeah.
To me, I think that would be a surprise, because I've done a few mock drafts where I just let it autofill. And he's ended up at the Cowboys. There's also been guys that I don't even know who they are that end up at the Cowboys. So, I mean, take that for what that's worth. But to me, it always seems like when I'm doing certain mock drafts, Daxton Hill pops up on this team. Yeah. So
I'd be shocked if they drafted safety.
Oh, yeah, me too. I'd be real shocked, because we haven't drafted a high-end safety in years. Yeah,
I'd be shocked. For real.
Yeah. But all right, man, I'm gonna get out of here. I got work early in the morning, and I'm a bit tired. Had a long day today. So I appreciate you for coming on, taking on this hour, coming on here again, doing this show. I love doing this show with you. You gave me a lot of insight. I know next week we've got a show, and the week after that it's the draft, and I know you do things with Cowboys blog. So cannot wait till next week.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. No, next week's our last show to the draft. I might have to share my screen, and we'll do some mock drafts here. So let's advertise the Boyz Corner as much as we possibly can for our mock drafts, and get some people in here and help us dictate who we're going to pick, what the Cowboys going to do. Let's do some different scenarios next week. So let's advertise as much as we can. I'll be pushing out content this week. This next week on the Cowboys Corner right here on YouTube. So follow me on _Cowboys Corner on Twitter for live immediate reaction, fellas. And then follow me right here on Cowboys Corner on YouTube. But no, Boys for Life, it's been fun. This is show 5. It's been good, dude. It's been real good. I appreciate talking ball with you. Let's keep trucking, dude.
Yeah, let's keep it going. And everyone in the chat, both of ours information as far as social media is all in the description. Just click any of the links. They will send you to mine or his Twitter or YouTube. But guys, that is it. I appreciate everyone coming in here, spending your hour with us. We are out, guys. Later.
Peace.